Hello. That was wild, and I would have been here sooner. I want to make sure. Can you guys all hear me okay? Am I coming across okay? Because there's a very good reason it took a little bit longer. So just give me like a yes or we hear you or anything like that. We will talk about Kyle Sieg's flip. Okay, so I would have been on right as they went off. My microphone literally broke off, so I'm holding it right now. So we're just rolling with the punches on this one. It's been a weird day. I'll just say that. I'm going to have some duct tape on this baby for Tuesday night, NWP 400 on IDK Players channel, and Wednesday night on Danny's for NWP. And tomorrow, we'll fix her up. Might not look pretty, but it'll work. But man, does this, Y for yes, N for no. I won't need a new mic. I'll fix this baby up. Don't worry about it, but I appreciate it. Break out the bear bond. But I want to ask, when it comes to Creed finishing second, is that the record now at 11 over Dale Jarrett? Because I have a feeling that is. By the way, I can't get a new stand because this stand literally has the wire built into it. So we're just rolling with it. I have to look like one of those standard newscasters that's holding their mic with a stick up their ass. But let's talk about the Cabo Wabo 250. Might not have been your favorite race of the year, but I guarantee you it's your favorite race, at least to say, because it has a really funny name. And we will have the result ticker up top in a little bit. It's all unofficial. They're probably going to have to get everything from about sixth on back figured out correctly. So we'll update you on that as we go. But let's get through the field, and then we'll talk about the Kyle Sieg flip, and then we'll go through the race itself and talk about it. But first, before we get on into it fully, out of 10, what would you give this race? 10 being the best Xfinity race you've ever seen, 1 being the worst ever. I want to know what you think. Let's see it. Personally, I give it a 4 or a 5. I wasn't really crazy about it. It's just this package isn't my thing. I've accepted it. I know a lot of people liked Indianapolis. I've seen a lot of people were pretty excited with this. After all, it did have some pretty exciting moments, and it did have some good merits to it that I think a lot of people that don't like this package aren't taking away from it. But there's also some things I think a lot of people are willfully ignoring. But let's get on into it. And I ask also with the chat, be respectful to each other. You don't have to cuss each other out. You don't have to act like an asshole. You don't have to act like an asshole if somebody didn't like it or they did like it or whatever. It's a NASCAR race, guys. So let's simmer down. Let's chill. But the Cabo Wabo 250 was 128 laps for 2 hours, 21 minutes, and 14 seconds. 10 lead changes, 7 leaders, 9 cautions. Justin Allgaier is your winner over Sheldon Creed. Shocker. Sheldon Creed finishes second. Moving on to Haas next year with Sam Mayer. Creed moving to Haas to finish second in the Fords now. Needs to get all the manufacturers up into the second position. John Hunter Nemechek comes down to a third place finish. Anthony Alfredo, as of now, unofficially a fourth place run on the day. Noah Gragson top 5 as well in fifth, so good runs for them. Sammy Smith, a sixth place run. Been a bit of a difficult year. That's a nice Freudian slip. Been a bit of a difficult year for that 8 team, just like the 9 team. They at least have a good finish today. Taylor Gray, 7th position. Matt DiBenedetto in 8th. 9th, Caesar Beccarella. I can't talk today, man. I cannot talk today. This whole mic thing, it fell like right in my face. So I'll admit, like, my lips hurting a little bit. Parker Kligerman in 10th. AJ Allmendinger, 11th. Honeyman, 12th. Ryan Sieg in 13th, Ellis 14th, 15th Clements, Jeb Burton in 16th, SVG recovers to 17th, everybody's favorite driver Austin Hill in 18th, 19th Josh Williams, 20th, Parker Retzlaff. Then you got Emmerling in 21st, Jeffrey Earnhardt in 22nd. 23rd, Balicki, 24th, Perkins, Bearden in 25th, Carson Kvapil, last lap crash, comes home 26th, 27th, Chandler Smith, Kyle Sieg, first car out of the race in 28th, flipped down the backstretch. He got some major air on the backstretch, man. Got some major air. That was probably the most air, at least that I can remember, for an Xfinity car since probably last year at Talladega, if I had to remember. But again, I don't have the greatest memory ever, so I could be completely wrong. I'm glad it's okay, because that one looked like a rough and tumble hit. At first, when Kvapil crashed and everyone made it past, like before, right in that split second before they showed Kyle Sieg, I was like, they might be able to let him race to the line. Then I see Sieg flipping with grass and dirt flying everywhere, and I'm like, no, throw the yellow. Need to make sure he's okay. I think, right call there. I know a lot of people weren't crazy about the finish, but Kyle Sieg, glad he's okay. Finishes 28th in the 28 car. Rough day, though. Rough finish to the day. He's going to be feeling that one tomorrow and on Monday. Jesse Love finishes the lap down in 29th, and last car on track was Cole Custer. 17 laps down in the 30th position. We'll talk about what happened to him as well. After that, 31st on down, these guys were out of the race. Joey Gase in 31st. Kyle Weatherman in 32nd, Brennan Poole in 33rd, Daniel Dye, Michael Waltrip, look away, finished 34th. Lawless Allen in the 15, actually got top 10 stage points today, but got caught up in a wreck, finishes 35th. Brandon Jones in 36th, 37th is Sam Mayer, and Riley Herbst comes home 38th, last on track after a pretty boneheaded exchange with the spotter especially. But man, that race was something. It definitely had a wild ending. I know a lot of people were already counting, everything being done when they threw the red flag. I kind of knew with that small of a cell and the technology NASCAR has to drive the tracks compared to like 10, 20 years ago, they were going to get back racing. Same result as we would have got otherwise. We just got 3 wreck race cars instead. You make of that what you will. But we're going to put the unofficial results up top. I probably got someone's name wrong. Let me know, and we'll get that. And on top of that, more than likely, something at the end is going to get cut off, because you'll just see. You'll see. We'll look at the Super Chats, by the way, by the end of the recap. Let's talk about the race itself, and then we'll talk about the package, all that, in a bit, I promise. But Sheldon Creed sits on pole. We get a bit of a late start due to rain. I mean, rain affected the beginning, middle, and end of this race pretty majorly. It's Michigan. And at this point, I'm surprised when we have a Michigan race in any series that's not affected by rain. Based on what I saw from the National Weather Service, at least about 20 minutes ago, their forecast is for there to be heavy showers around 3:30, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon and evening. And so like a 1:30 start time, I believe, 1:30 Central, I should say, 2:30. I believe Eastern time is the start time. They probably will be able to race to halfway if that window remains open. Of course, a lot can change. It's Michigan and NASCAR, so there can be plenty of rain. But I'm honestly not surprised anymore when we have rain. I'm surprised when we don't. Now, Creed would lead this race early. It was pretty much a train race for the early parts of this race. So there's not too much to talk about other than, Taylor Gray spins off to a lot of air spins here. He spins off to Sheldon Creed, ended up spinning after the 98 air packed the 18, brought out the caution. So Sheldon Creed had a really good comeback in a race that was very difficult to pass because of the package. Comes back to second. Again, shocker. Up front early, though, it seemed like it was going to be like Riley Herbst leading the most. Justin Allgaier for most of the day was pretty damn good. But it was Ryan Sieg winning stage 1 over Brandon Jones, Chandler Smith, Justin Allgaier. Lawless Allen, 5th place in stage 1. Then Austin Hill, Herbst, Kyle Sieg, Allmendinger, and Parker Kligerman. We had a red flag immediately. Rain hit right at the start of stage 2, right after stage 1. It was just going to be this fight all day. And again, it was just sort of like restarts, Hill spins, another restart, get a bit of racing, kind of getting racy, but still sort of more that train. But the biggest bonehead move of the day, and I don't blame the driver as much on this one. Like I'd say, the driver made the move, so it'd be, I'd say, 15-20% on the driver, mostly on the spotter, especially after the audio you heard. Riley Herbst just self-clears himself off the nose of Ryan Sieg, wrecks himself, wrecks his teammate, which is why Cole Custer finished 17 laps down today. Damage to the 39, pretty much within the next couple laps. The 9 and the 1 who were collected are out, wrecks them out. Totally on the spotter, calling him clear when he was not. Just a bad move, all in all. A big bonehead move. He was, I think I put on Twitter, like, you're not clear, bro. And someone immediately, it's a spotter. It's like, okay, that doesn't change the fact that he wasn't clear, though. Like, it amazes me. Some of the gymnastics people play with stuff when there's obviously just jokes being thrown back and forth. But they get it back racing. John Hunter Nemechek wins the stage over Love, Allmendinger, Taylor Gray, Sammy Smith, Chandler Smith. So we got the Smith duo, 5th and 6th. Allgaier, Creed, Jeb Burton, and Alfredo, the top 10. And this leads us to the final stage of the race, the final basically half of this race. Get back racing. John Hunter Nemechek gets the lead. Carson Kvapil, I will give him credit now because he didn't have, until the last lap, many noteworthy things to talk about. Ran very well today. So I'll say that, he deserves a lot of credit for how well he has ran in his brief time in the Xfinity Series. I can't wait to see him run more for the rest of this year and next year. But another crash. Lawless Allen gets loose. Jeb Burton's collected. Danny Dye. Michael Waltrip again, look away. Danny Dye gets crashed. Spencer in the chat. Michael Waltrip fell to his knees in Walmart seeing Danny Dye wreck. Yep, it's true. It's true. But he gets wrecked out. Not of his own making. This time as well, by the way, after we get restarted, Allgaier actually got a restart violation. SVG got a pass through. Both of them, to varying extents, make a comeback. And really from there, it's just more that fuel mileage game the rest of the way. With about 40 to go, Carson Kvapil takes the lead. He couldn't make it to the end. He was about 15 laps short on regulation. But he takes the lead away from, I believe, John Hunter Nemechek. Behind him, it's Justin Allgaier on a way different strategy. Can make it to the end, can make it on a green-white checker based on their calculations. He's able to start charging his way up, and he's just basically just playing leapfrog through the leaders. He gets ahead of the 20 with about 17 to go, right as the 88 pits. It gets him the lead, but it's looking like Sheldon Creed at the end. Sheldon Creed might be the one who can best the 7. The 7 seemed to have maybe the handling going away towards the end, but we wouldn't get to know because the caution would come out while the 18 was catching up to the 7. Maybe the 7 was just taking it easy. That's very much what could be the case. But the caution comes out. Hard crash by Kyle Weatherman in the wall, right front flat. He looked like he was limping a little bit, did look dazed, bit hurt. I'm glad that he got checked and released from the care center. I'm glad he seemingly looked a lot better, but that was a nasty crash today. And I hope that, I hope the evaluation is completely correct and he is just good to go, but definitely something I think that needs to be followed up on. And this is when the rain comes. We get a red flag, leads us to our overtime restart. I don't know, like 10, 20, 30 minutes later, whatever it was. The 78 restart. Sammy Smith had the lead for a bit, could not clear Allgaier. Allgaier clears him. They're all 3 wide. They're all racing each other, and slowing each other down with side drafting, everything like that. And Justin Allgaier, even without the caution, wins that race. He pulled away. We have a wreck. Carson Kvapil put in the wall. Chandler Smith goes around. But the big one again, Kyle Sieg flips, has basically a blowover, and barrel rolls it down the backstretch at Michigan, old Talladega style. So again, plenty of things that did happen in this race. A lot of just a very weird race. Was not my cup of tea personally. I'm not too big on making super speedway packages for tracks like Indianapolis or Michigan if we don't have to. And the Xfinity package in general with super speedways outside of Daytona and Talladega, like the Atlanta race and now like Michigan, it just to me it's not translated as well. It's very prone to train racing. If NASCAR wants to go down this path, they definitely, I think, need to tweak this for next year. I hope they just go back to normal personally. I really didn't think the racing at Michigan was that bad. But it seemed like generally fans were, I don't know if pleased or happy is the right word, but generally we're pretty good with it. So if that's the case, like Indianapolis next year, I fully expect them to bring this package back because fans loved it. This one, I'm not as sure. Maybe it was because we didn't get a greatest finish the way we did at Indianapolis. No matter what you thought of it, Indianapolis's finish was pretty damn awesome. But now, let's see. You said that the unofficial results have been updated. Yes. So we're just going to take this down, update it on the fly, and I can give it to you as we roll right now. Sammy Smith has been moved up to the 5th position. So that's going to be pretty big to look at. 1 point can make a big difference these last 5 races or so. That moves Noah Gragson to the 6th spot. And then through that whole melee as well, they're putting Matt DiBenedetto to the 7th position. And that will move Taylor Gray to the 8th spot. I'm trying to see if there's any other changes. I'm just changing this on the fly, letting you guys know as we go about it. 45. Let's check on this end. I have it written down. I don't see too many other major changes to the finishing order as they're going right now. For those wondering, I guess further in the pack and underdog story wise, Jeffrey Earnhardt 21st instead of 22nd now, and that moves Emmerling. If I can spell their names, that moves Emmerling to 22nd. We'll put this up as soon as it's fully updated. So Emmerling 22nd. Okay, so that's a change. Perkins moved up to 23rd in the that would move, let's see, Balicki to 24th. I know a lot of people might be like, who cares about the back markers? Just tell me who so-and-so finished, up front. But it's like, there's just fans everybody. Let's see. I'm fully expecting. Never mind. I thought, for sure Chandler Smith would have ended up finishing ahead of Carson Kvapil. But so these are the updated results. We'll keep unofficial on it. But updated results going across the top of the screen now. Appreciate the patience. Xfinity Series trending on Twitter. I'm not shocked. When you have a big flip like that, I am totally not shocked that NASCAR trends. Let's see what we got here. Yep, it's trending. Yeah, that tracks. Let's look at the final bit of Super Chats. Let's see if we can get over 100 likes on this. We got well over 300 watching, only 88 likes. Let's get a few more likes on this, baby. Get over 100 before we sign on out. We'll be live tomorrow after the Cup race, whenever that is, or if it's Monday, whenever it is, we'll be live after the Cup race. Tuesday night, I'll be on the IDK Player channel doing the NWP 400 commentary. Be sure to come check that out. It's a ton of fun. Gen 4s, old schemes, custom schemes, new schemes on the Gen 4. You'll like it. And then NWP on Wednesday, leading into Daytona on Danny B Talks channel. So a lot of stuff this week. Busy week for the old Iceberg. Fred Dog 81 for the 5 here says Sheldon Creed. Did he finish second yet again? Oh, yes, indeed. Sad the Price is Right horn plays. When he breaks through and wins, that's going to be like one of the biggest post-race streams we have together because everyone's just going to be like, finally, he finally did it. Lucas, thank you for the 2 there. Same for my new mic. I'll fix this one up. If anything, it might just be that a screw came loose. I already see where the problem might be on it. That's probably just on me not treating it right. I got to give it a little TLC on that. Carl Singleton for the 5 here says, hi, Jarrett. Thank you for helping build a drama-free community with no Mr. Beast-like figures. I'm doing my best. I feel like it's not too hard to just be a normal dude. But I appreciate it. Yeah, I like being normal. No stupid drama in the chat. Let's have no stupid politics in the chat. We're all here for racing. You know, we're here for racing, and occasionally like a malfunction on my microphone. Bailey, thank you for the 2. Riley needs a new spotter, please and thank you. Yeah, I'm sure there's a couple in the field that agree with that. Man Dude for the Canadian 2 says tomorrow is going to be fun. I think it really is. The next gen races pretty darn well at Michigan. If this track can just keep widening out to the way it was in the 2000s, late 90s, I think it would be perfect for the next gen. We saw how it ran at Auto Club, which is a sister track of Michigan. We've seen how it runs at tracks like Kansas and other intermediates that might not be exactly like Michigan, but race similar. So I do think we're going to see a pretty good show tomorrow. I just hope there's no early wrecks because I feel like that there needs to be that good number of cars out there for the comers and goers and it all. But I am really excited. I kind of hope we have a fuel mileage race. I have a feeling we're racing to the rain, though, tomorrow. That's my early prediction for it. And then Fred Dog for another 5 here says Riley Herbst equals the Flying Dutchman. Spotter, SpongeBob, SquarePants saying, you're good, you're good, you're good, over and over again. Oh, man, that's funny. Infield Like saying, hello from Daytona. Hello. I hope the rain stays away from you for the next, 2 weeks. Just hoping. Fingers crossed. But, yeah, that'll do it for this post-race show. Again, we'll be live tomorrow afterwards, after the Cup race or Monday, whenever the hell the race runs. We'll be live after it. So thank you guys for coming in. Thanks for bearing with me. I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to hang out and enjoy the rest of your night. I'll see you tomorrow. Later, y'all.